Hi, boys and girls. I'm glad that we can at least keep in touch by using our online technology. And hopefully you're enjoying these books that I'm reading to you, but I want you to keep reading at home too. So please make sure that you have some books handy and ask mom and dad for a daily story. It always is good to keep on reading yourself. But I hope you enjoy this book. This one is called Harry on the Rocks, and it's by Susan Madaw. She actually is the writer and illustrator that did the Martha books, and I'm not sure if you all know the Martha books, but that's where the dog eats the alphabet soup, and after she eats the soup, she can talk. So many of you may have seen Martha on TV. Well, this is the same author, but this is a different dog called Harry, and he has a problem. His little tiny rowboat gets taken out to sea, and he gets stranded on a deserted island. Watch what happens to Harry on the Rocks. Harry on the Rocks, written and illustrated by Susan Madaw, published by Houghton Mifflin Company, Boston. Copyright 2003. A Walter Lorraine book. It was a calm day when Harry floated out to sea. He had been rowing peacefully down the river when a seagull mistook his head for a rock. Hoping to break open a tasty clam, the nearsighted bird dropped it on Harry's head. Harry dropped his oars, and the tide, which was going out, took Harry and his little yellow boat right along with it. Soon the wind began to blow, and the clear blue sky filled with clouds. The rain fell. Harry could no longer see land. He was scared. The waves tossed Harry's boat up and down. Harry hung on for life. When the storm had finally blown itself out, one last wave picked up Harry's boat with Harry in it and dropped it down onto solid ground. Well, by then it was late and dark. Harry was exhausted. The sea was calm and the sky was blue when Harry woke up the next day. So he looked around, and all he saw was sand and rocks. He walked and walked, and all he found was more rocks and, well, one wind-blown tree. Harry sat down in the shade of the tree. "Rocks," he said. "Nothing but sand and rocks." And then he noticed one rock that wasn't like all the other rocks. "An egg?" thought Harry. "What luck!" Harry was very hungry, but he didn't think he would like to eat a raw egg. Well, perhaps if I leave it in the hot sun, by dinner time I will have a hard-boiled egg, he thought. So Harry moved the egg to a rock in the sun. The egg, well, it did not cook in the sun. It hatched. A small but colorful lizard emerged. Harry stared at the little creature. No egg for dinner, he thought. So instead, he picked a leaf from the wind-blown tree. It was plump and juicy. Harry took a great big bite. "Ugh," he said. "This tastes exactly like broccoli boiled in skunk cabbage oil. Ugh." But there was nothing else to eat, so he picked a few more leaves and shared them with the little lizard. "Mmm," said the lizard. The next day, Harry picked more leaves from the tree for himself and for the lizard. He saw that the lizard Well, he had grown a lot in one day. He also noticed little wings. Huh, what on earth are you? Asked Harry. You look like a lizard, but you have wings like a bird. Hey, perhaps I've discovered a missing link, he said. I think you are a Bizzard. Harry could not stop thinking about food. All around him, seabirds were dipping into the water, coming up with their dinner. Oh, guess I'll go fishing too, said Harry. But after spending the entire day in the water, Harry had not caught one single fish. If only I had wings and a beak, thought Harry. And then he remembered the Bizzard. You have wings, he said. Hey, why don't you fly out and catch us a fish? The Bizzard gave him a very puzzled look. Don't tell me you don't know how to fly, said Harry. And the Bizzard hung his head. Well, I guess it's time for you to learn, Harry told him. The first lesson was flapping. Just flapping. So the Bizzard, he flapped. The next lesson was flapping and jumping into the air. The Bizzard flapped, jumped, and fell. Keep trying, said Harry. The Bizzard, well, he flapped, jumped, and fell again. Day after day he flapped and fell, flapped and fell. But Harry said, Hey, your wings, they're getting bigger and stronger. Soon we'll have fish for dinner. Said the Bizzard. He flapped and fell again. But then, at last, the Bizzard flapped and he did not fall. He flew. He swooped out over the water, and the bird stayed far away from him. Good boy, shouted Harry when the Bizzard dropped a fat fish right down on the rock in front of him. Now, if only we had a fire, he said, we could have a fish banquet. A fire, said the Bizzard. He smiled a big, toothy smile. You're not a Bizzard, said Harry, and suddenly he was very frightened. You're a dragon. Harry, he dived underneath his broken boat. He stayed there all day and all night. Every so often he would yell, Go away, or there's nobody in here. When he finally poked his head out, the dragon was gone. Whew, that was a close call, thought Harry. To think I actually fed a dragon and taught him how to fly. I'm lucky I discovered what he really was before he got tired of eating leaves. Harry spent the rest of the day trying to catch fish, but he had leaves again for dinner. The next few days, they were much the same. The leaves were almost gone from the tree, and, what was worse, Harry was lonely. Except for the fact that he was probably going to eat me, that dragon was good company, he thought. Harry spent long hours on the beach. He hoped to see a boat on the horizon, but he never did. 2 weeks now after the dragon had disappeared, well, Harry woke up to a very dark sky, and once again the wind began to blow, the rain fell, and the waves crashed on the shore. Each wave seemed bigger than the last, as Harry, well, he just hopped from rock to rock, looking for higher ground. In desperation, he climbed to the very top of the wind-blown tree. But this was one storm the old tree would not survive. There was a terrible roar as the biggest wave of all hit the trunk of the tree, ripping roots from the rocks that held them. I wonder what the big roar was. You see, in the 2 weeks that had passed, the dragon had grown even larger. He flew high above the clouds, and well, Harry just held on tight. When they had flown beyond the storm, Harry looked down, and he saw land. Not sand and rocks, but grass and trees and houses. He even saw his own little white house with the red shutters. "Down, please," said Harry. And they made a perfect, soft landing right in Harry's backyard. You saved my life," said Harry. He couldn't help wondering why the dragon had come back. The dragon just smiled. He said. Mom. You see, Harry actually helped that baby dragon, didn't he? He actually took that egg, put it on the nice warm rock so that it could hatch. He also fed it, gave it leaves from the tree. He even taught it how to fly and how to go fishing. So of course, when we thought the dragon was hungry, going, he actually was trying to say, Mama, to Harry.